Hello everyone, Curtis Lambert here of Breaklight Productions, and well, we've got another one. President has released a brand new music video for their song Fearless. Now if you saw my previous reaction to their debut music video, you would know I absolutely loved it. I had so much to talk about it. Like, it was genuinely beautiful. So when I saw this pop up on my feed, I had to react to this one as well, because no doubt it's going to bring the same level of like quality and just wow factor that the last one did. So let's jump on into it. There's that fucking I hate masks so much, especially realistic ones like that. It's just it's so creepy. Okay, so we're seeing a very similar style to the last one in terms of how it's being lit, the subtitling, nice little sort of post-production flares there. Or they could actually be, detaching the lens and shaking it in front. Interesting. So far, a lot less like horror vibes. Like, this is a lot more just like clean. Like, even with the subtitling, it's, you know, white instead of red. Red had more of this like, yeah, creepy factor to it. The TV's cool. I would appreciate, like, I sort of want them to utilize that a bit more. Because at the moment, this is, like, compared to the last one, feeling it just a bit more plain Jane. Like, it's still very well made. But so far, it's just not wowing me like that last one did. And when I say that, I'm talking just purely in terms of the music video. Like, I'm honestly barely even listening to the song. Yeah, they could definitely be doing this, that close-up shot, letting like light leaks in by detaching the lens and just like you wiggle it in front of the camera. And like myself and my DOP, Nicholas Brack, have done that on shoots, and it's a vibe. It's very creepy. If you want like person going insane, that's one way to capture it. Yeah, I sort of wish they just used this TV just a bit more. Yeah, like there's a lot less shadows in this one. Oh, so okay, I have no idea who that. Well, I mean, obviously it's the vocalist, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know if like he's from other bands or something. But yeah, okay, so that was Fearless by President. Let's talk about it. Okay, first thing straight off the bat, I wasn't as wowed by this one as the previous one. And I'm not even talking, like I said, that's taken out anything to do with the actual music. Just from a video perspective, it's a lot this one's a lot more sort of plain Jane for me, whereas the other one was doing a lot of things that I was like, oh, I can talk about that, I can talk about that. I think that video nearly got to like 20 minutes because there was so much for me to talk about. This one, on the other hand, don't get me wrong, there is still a lot to talk about, but it's like just a bit less interesting for me personally. So sort of first things first, like there's sort of the creepy factor's pretty much gone in this one. It's just like there's no real shadow play, there's no creepy smile, there's no like flashing lights through a dark hallway. It's very not even many like subliminals that the previous one had, which again is fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, it's like, I'm a horror fan. I loved the last one. This one I'm like, okay, it's cool, but whatever. Now in terms of the main room, they've got these beautiful orange like lights up above. It's interesting that some of them seem to have 2 bulbs in them while others only have 1. I don't know if that's something where that's just like the location itself. Like those look like they would just be in that location, and maybe those bulbs were broken and they're like, well, whatever, we'll make do. The important thing to note though is that those are not lighting the band. There's color matching lights in front pumping onto the band. You can tell because he's clearly lit up. It looks like it's coming from one direction as well, and we can sort of see it on the reflections to the far right and behind the drummer. But also we can tell by the shadow of, it looks like that's the bass guitar, the shadow of him, and the fact that it's only really lighting up like one half of the face of our main vocalist. So they've got a orange light, probably a panel light, a big like, aperture nova or something like that. And they've just got that pumping through, color matching the orange light that's up above, so that you get that feel that, oh, it's the lighting of the room. They've then got this white light coming in, which they've overexposed and given a sort of ethereal glow to in some of the shots, which I really like. Like, that is pretty. I love the little macro shots. I should quickly say that white light, it's just sunlight. Nothing special about that, and nothing much to be controlled. Obviously you can shape it, and we see a bit of that in the curtains that they've like parted so that you get these 2 white lines, sort of cutting on either side of his chair. But other than that, there's not much like shaping to it that I can see. The subtitling in this one seemed forced. Like, it wasn't like, with the last one, it added to the horror because it was red and it was glitching and like you didn't know when it was going to pop up. It sort of added to the atmosphere. This one, I think, sort of just detracts from the video. because, you know, it's this beautifully lit music video that's not really going for the creepy factor. Yeah, I feel it doesn't suit it as much. But then again, maybe the band's got a really important message that they want to get across, so, you know, maybe they do want all of their videos to be subtitled, which, hey, fair enough. The taking off the mask at the end, really interesting choice. I guess, yeah, just revealing his identity to people. Again, I'm not familiar, like maybe to some people that was like, holy shit, that's the guy from name other band here, but yeah, I don't know. Now, those shots where it's sort of tripping out in the close-up of him, I'll see if I can find an example of it. Where are we? Of course, it's like every time I go to like find the shot. There we go. So you're seeing light leaks, you're seeing some flares, you're seeing like it's going in and out of focus, all sorts. And it's really shaky. How did they do that? Well, obviously you can do it in post, but a really easy way is you actually disconnect the lens from your camera, and holding it just in front of it, you shake it, you move it around. And what that does is it's letting, like, you want to try and keep the like lens, like the sensor of the camera looking down the lens as much as possible. But the more light you let leak in, the more of those, well, light leaks you're going to get. The more shakiness as well. You could see some bits where it looked like it was like vignetting. That's the actual lens. You know, the rear element of the lens going in front of the camera sensor. It's super simple to do that, but super effective, and yet you don't really see it as much as you would think in music videos and even like horror movies. Like, I remember using it for a horror film I was producing, and our DOP like told us like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and I was like, what's that gonna do? And then I watched it and I was like, holy shit, like that's it, that actually looks terrifying. So yeah, like it's a really, I don't know, like underrated way of getting like light leaks and sort of shaky camera footage. I would say it's not just a horror thing. Like, I think when used correctly, it could be quite beautiful as well, because you're letting in, you know, these nice you know, beams of light and stuff between the camera and the lens. Yeah, it can be really beautiful. Color grade and stuff like that, not much to talk about. Like, there looks to be a bit of grain thrown on top, but yeah, like it's just yeah, all in all, like it's well made, and this is the important thing. It's well made, and it's professional as fuck. But it just, yeah, it gives me less to talk about, and I didn't connect with it as much as the previous one. And honestly, it sort of looks like a, now this may not be the case, but it honestly looks and gives the vibe of something that was filmed like either on the same weekend and by the same guy. Because it just, if it's, even though it's very different, it's got a lot of crossover from the previous one in terms of style. That, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same director or creative behind it. But also it feels like, even though the other building was more of like, looked more like a hotel, this really does have similar vibes, like location wise. So it wouldn't surprise me if it's all part of the same building, or like if they're next to each other or something like that. Yeah, the TV I feel like was a missed opportunity. I wanted to see more of that. I thought that was a really creepy idea, that they could have utilized more and really made something different. Because, and this is a whole video I could make on its own, but it comes down to that age-old question of, when you're a band, do you keep a style of music video, and so that everyone knows exactly what they're getting into, or do you change it up drastically between each one, so that every single one feels fresh and new and something different? There's pros and cons to both, in all honesty. And I've seen some bands go for option A, some go for option B. I personally lean more towards have a core, like, way of doing things, but then do that then differently. And I think a great example of that is OK Go, where every single video is going to be some like artistic, like mind-blowing, experiment that you're like, how the hell did they do that? And yet every single one is so different. Like the printer one is nothing like the phone one. So yeah, I'm sort of in the middle with that, but all in all, great video, and hopefully you enjoyed it too. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave more recommendations in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.